Edo State Governor Monday Okpebholo has abolished the new traditional councils created by his predecessor Godwin Obaseki in Edo South Senatorial District. The governor also restored the statutory financial entitlements of the Benin Traditional Council and ordered that the status quo before the creation of the now abolished councils be maintained. This was disclosed in a statement on Sunday by the Chief Press Secretary to the governor, Fred Itwa, in Benin City. He stated that Okpebholo also complied with the federal government's directive by restoring the full statutory rights of the Oba of Benin on the ownership of ancient artifacts looted by the British colonial forces during the 1897 Benin massacre. Still in Edo State, Monday Okpebholo has approved the establishment of a 14-member state assets verification committee to investigate the administration of former Governor Godwin Obaseki. The committee, chaired by Dr. Ernest Afolabi Umakhihe, will be inaugurated on Tuesday, November 26, 2024, at the Government House in Benin City. Anselm Ojezwa has been named as deputy chairman, while Frank Edebo will serve as the secretary. To discuss this, we're joined by Victor Atewe, media consultant, and of course, a political analyst. Thank you so much for joining us on the news, Mr. Victor.
Thank you so much for having me, and good morning.
Okay, so what is the significance of establishing the State Assets Verification Committee? Because people feel, or some people feel, it's like a vendetta against the previous administration in the state, while others feel it could actually bring about accountability in Edo State.
Well, it's a two-way street. First, thank you for that question, but you can look it from two sides of the coin. Yes, of course, it brings about accountability and what he's to expect or what he is to work with in terms of governance and what the government, some government properties. Yes, you recall that many politicians, while leaving office, they cut away with government properties, vehicles, and even to the point of chairs and tables that is meant for the office or the institution they once represented, and ought to be used for the good of the people. But you see them looting away with it and expecting that the new government that's to come into budget for them and of course get a new set. So you see things like that playing out. But for that reason, I think it's valid. The accountability drive. It's valid for him to say, to probe what is into. But one thing that I will frown against is, when it comes, like, of course, a lot of people will expect that, him coming to power, as a former opposition party in the state, one would expect some witch hunting here and there, but that is expected to happen. But I would expect personally that this is a time that he needs to deliver governance to the people of Edo State based on his political promises and his campaign promises, he needs to hit the ground running, roll out his policy, and his policies must be seen to be working. Not to, because government is continuum. You can't continue to, or dissolve and dissolve. When you dissolve and dissolve boards, dissolve people that massive sack in schools and all, and you find out that these people, where are you going to put them? You find out that we'll go back to where we were before, where we have high level of people who are unemployed in the state, and of course the state is already facing insecurity in terms of courtesan, and of course unemployment rate is increasing, and yet you are dissolving. And also, I think I would expect that it should hit the ground running, even though yes, it needs to give account or checkmate what he meant in the office, and of course probe whatever he needs to probe.
So he probably would say that he's trying to set his own legacy during the course of his own administration. And in as much as it might look as though he's trying to use a stone to kill two birds, if you look at the previous administration under Godwin Obaseki, would you say that it was also fraught with financial impropriety and the fact that it probably gave recourse to others to also engage in grafts, so to speak, worthy of investigation? Would you say that too when you look at, the previous administration?
The previous administration, in all fairness to them, yeah, I don't belong them, I don't speak for them, but they've been known to be one of the most prudent governments in recent time. You know, what we say for Edo will say, Obaseki will tell you that government money is not meant to be shared, even though we know that, okay, yes, you see work being done and all. So I really don't see those kind of looting or a lot of, embezzlement, happening in his government, although up until I'm being proven guilty, we hope to see what the report will be, from the committee, when they embark on this probe. But for me, I don't think that the previous administration gave room for.
Hello, Mr. Victor.
They have records to prove to that.
Okay, so I know that this committee will probably be stepping on toes in its fact-finding mission, but then what specific challenges do you think, the committee might face when it comes to conducting its investigation, and how would you expect them to address it to come out with an altruistic outcome in terms of results?
Okay, I think I'll start with your last question. The first thing I would expect that they should go with all high level of professionalism, without fear or favor, and of course discharge their duty and be not witch hunting, so to say. A lot of people are emphasizing that it might be like a witch hunting thing, to blacklist the previous administration. Yes, of course, there will be some lacunas here and there. Yeah, we won't expect that, but I expect that they should go in with a high level of professionalism. I would expect that they should. And also, I'm sorry, what's the second question you asked? Sorry.
So I was just saying there probably might be challenges for this committee by the time
yes,
they go about the investigation.
There would be challenges in terms of course, one would expect a lot of counter suit. Some legal, some one would expect that there'll be some legal challenges right now that will be coming, in terms of some orders being given by some courts in Abuja, some court in Edo State, trying to, stop some probe and all that. Yes, those are the challenges I think they would face. And of course, having the full cooperation of the previous administration in terms of them carrying out their duty, one would expect that, of course, they will have a headlock in that aspect. But most importantly, I would believe that, if he that was
come to the table.
If you're not guilty, yes, if you're not guilty, I expect that you should come out, straight. And of course, anything that wants to be probed, when you're being asked to verify, of course, come defend some spending. Like they said, that his government is prudent. That's Obaseki's government. You come out and, of course, defend your government in that area. So I don't see, for me, I think it's too early to call that it's going to be witch hunting. Yes, there should be accountability. One is going to an office, one should expect that from what my predecessor have done, I should be able to know what to work with and what I have, what I have in hand to run the state with. So I don't see any witch hunting. But of course, we know that this can be politically hijacked and motivated to, of course, to blacklist, and of course to label the previous administration, being that they are not in good terms, and of course to drag his name in the mud.
Yeah, we understand that.
One would expect anything short of that.
Victor Atewe, media consultant and political affairs analyst, thank you so much for sharing your thoughts with us on the news.
Thank you so much for having me.